I built my dream life, travel whenever I want, buy properties, help my family, actual freedom, and honestly, I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you how I did it. I built the life most people are trying to fake on Instagram, not because it's shady or complicated, but because when I explain it to people, they look at me like, that's it? There's no revolutionary idea, no viral moment, nothing that sounds impressive. It's boring, really boring. And that's exactly why it works. See, everyone's obsessed with building something innovative, the next big thing that'll change the game. Meanwhile, there's this whole other category of businesses that nobody talks about, the boring ones. They don't get featured in articles, they don't sound impressive at parties, they just print cash. Now, boring doesn't mean easy, it doesn't mean anyone can do it, but it does mean less competition, more profit, more freedom. So in this video, I'm breaking down why boring wins, which boring businesses I run, and how to build one from zero. Once this clicks, you'll stop chasing what looks cool and start focusing on what actually works. All right, so let me show you what I actually mean here. Let's look at Amazon, for example. Everyone thinks that they're this massive innovative tech company, like they revolutionized everything, right? But here's how Jeff Bezos actually started. He didn't write books, he didn't manufacture anything. He literally just found book publishers and connected them with people who wanted to read. That's it. He was a middleman. Now look at Uber, same thing. They don't own a single car. They just connect drivers who have cars with people who need rides. They are in the middle taking a cut. Airbnb, they don't own any hotels. They just connect people who have extra space with people who need a place to stay. All middlemen. And here's what's crazy. These are some of the biggest, most valuable companies on the planet. So clearly there's something here. Now, most people, they hear middleman and they immediately think it's bad. Like you're just this guy in the middle making scraps while everyone else is cashing out. But that's not actually how it works. See, being a middleman is the most powerful position you can be in because you control the customer, you own the relationship, and you decide who to work with. Now, here's the thing. When you're starting out, you don't need to invent anything. You don't need millions in capital. You can literally start without owning any inventory. You just connect supply with demand, and that's it. For me, that looks like connecting products with the people who actually need them. I find manufacturers who make good stuff. I find customers who have real problems, and then I just connect them. Now, here's what makes this different from just flipping random products and hoping that something sticks. You're building stuff that compounds: customer data, supplier relationships, brand trust, systems. So yeah, eventually you'll want to work direct with manufacturers, you'll hold inventory, you'll build out the whole operation, but that comes later once you're making money and you've proven that it works. You're not starting with all this massive risk and overhead. You're starting lean and stacking as you go. And the main thing is every month you're in makes the next month easier. Your margins get better, your suppliers give you better deals, your customers come back and buy again. So while everyone else is out there chasing the next trending product starting over every 30 days, burning out, you're building something that gets stronger. And that's exactly what I've been able to do. And that's exactly what my friends have been able to do. And that's exactly what I'm about to show you how to build. So let me show you what this looked like when I was just starting to get the hang of things. So back in 2019, I hit my first 1K day doing this. And honestly, I was so hyped. My buddy Steven, who I'm about to talk about in a second, he literally recorded me that moment that I was about to hit my first 1K day. And then a few months later, he recorded me again when things really started taking off. And you could just see the difference. It wasn't just about the money. It was that this thing was actually compounding. Now, here's the main thing. I was applying the exact same boring fundamentals back then that I'm using now, just on a way smaller scale. But over time, it just kept stacking and eventually, well, you get it, it worked. Now, this wasn't some overnight thing. It was just consistent execution month after month. Building the stuff that I'm about to show you, and honestly, it just kept getting easier the longer that I did it. The thing is, I'm not the only one doing this. One of my buddies that I travel with, he started from absolute scratch with this same model, didn't know anything about ecom, and he built a multi-million-dollar ecom business doing this. Steven, the guy who recorded those videos of me, he built multiple 7-figure brands using the exact same principles. And here's the crazy part. None of us are doing anything sexy. We're not geniuses. We're not coming up with revolutionary ideas or disrupting industries. We're just literally being middlemen in different markets, and that's it. But we're doing it the boring way, building assets, stacking moats, focusing on the stuff that actually compounds instead of chasing whatever looks good this week. So now that you've seen that this actually works, let me break down exactly how you can do this. All right, so how do you actually build this? There's a few things that you need to get right, and each one makes the next one easier. So the first thing that you need to get right is what you're actually looking for. So most people, they think that being a middleman means that you just find whatever's selling and connect it to customers. And honestly, that's not gonna work long-term because here's the thing. Your job as a middleman is to create value by making the connection between supply and demand. You're not inventing products, but you are building the relationship. Now, if you're connecting people with gimmicky garbage, absolute crap that breaks in a week, you are done. They are not coming back. They're not trusting you with the next purchase, and you lose the only advantage that you have, which is that relationship. So the main thing is that you need to find products that actually solve real problems for specific groups of people, not just whatever is viral right now on TikTok. Now, here's how I think about this. I'm always looking for three things. One, a community that has money and is willing to spend. Two, a problem they're actively trying to solve. And three, products that actually deliver on solving that problem. So here's how you actually find these communities and products. And this is way simpler than most people make it out to be. I want you to open up Instagram and just start scrolling your feed like you normally would. But here's what you're doing differently. Every time that you see an ad of a product, you engage with it. So like it, save it, click through to the website. You can maybe even add to cart, initiate checkout, put in your information, add your email. Now, you are not buying anything. You're just telling the algorithm, hey, I am someone who looks at product ads and maybe might want to buy the product. And what happens over the next 15 to 20 minutes is that the platform, Instagram, is going to start showing you more and more product-based ads just like that, because it thinks you're a buyer. So now your feed is basically a free market research tool showing you what companies are actively spending money on right now. But here's where most people stop. They see a product, they think, oh, that's cool, and then they move on. We're gonna go even deeper than that. Look at the comments, but here's what we're actually gonna be filtering for. You wanna see conversations happening, not just people commenting at the brand, but people talking to each other, talking to one another, tagging their friends, sharing their own stories about why they need this. Because when you see that, that means that there's already a community around this problem. They're not just interested in the product, they are connecting over a shared experience. And that's what you're really hunting for, not just a product people want, a problem people bond over. Because if they're bonding over it, you're damn sure they're going to be spending money on it. So when you see that pattern, ads getting engagement, people having actual conversations in the comments, companies clearly spending money to keep those ads running, that is your green light. And here's the final check. I want you to go to the Meta ad library. I will make sure to leave a link to that for you guys to easily access it if you don't know how to get to it. And I want you to look up that brand or product, and I want you to see if they are running ads consistently. If that same ad has been running for weeks, that is proof that they are making money, because companies don't burn cash, spend money on ads that don't work. But here's what matters. You're not just looking for products, you're looking for communities with real problems, and you're finding products that actually solve those problems. Because when you do that, customers, they come back, and that is the whole game. So you're building a business where people trust you and keep buying from you, not where you're constantly hunting for the next viral thing and starting over every single month. All right, so you found your community, you know what problem that you're solving. Now you need a store, and this is where most people completely overthink it. They spend weeks trying to make everything perfect, custom design, perfect branding, all that stuff. And look, I get it, but that's the wrong approach when you are just starting out, because you're not building the final version of your store on day one. Instead, you're proving that people will actually buy what you're selling, and that's pretty much it. So here's what you do. You sign up for Shopify. That's the platform. There's other options out there, but Shopify is what I use. It's what most people use because it's just the best in the game. Now, I will leave a link to get access to Shopify for $1 for the next 3 months down in the description. Now, once you have your account, you can use this free AI store builder. It'll literally build you a professional looking store in a matter of minutes just by answering a few questions about what you're selling. Now, I think it's a really good base to work off because it'll handle the store design, the product pages, the privacy policies, all that stuff that you won't really want to have to take care of. And I will make sure to leave that in the description as well. But the main thing is that your store doesn't need to be perfect on day one. You are proving concept first. You'll refine it later once you know what's actually working. Now get your store up. Now here's where most people mess up. It's the economics, because you can have the best store, the best products, the whole 9 yards, but if your fulfillment sucks, none of it matters. And that's what most people get wrong. They're focused on the design, the branding, the surface level stuff. Meanwhile, their customers are waiting 3+ weeks for orders and getting garbage quality products. So here's what you need to get right from day one, your supplier setup, because if customers are waiting 3+ weeks for orders or getting low quality products, they are not going to be coming back, and it's just going to kill your business. And nothing else matters if you can't get that right. Now, most people when they're starting out, they will use AliExpress. And look, AliExpress is fine, but the pricing isn't that great and the shipping times are pretty bad. Now, I've talked about 1688 and Taobao 4. These are essentially the Chinese wholesale platforms where you get way better pricing and faster shipping. But the problem is they are a pain to use if you don't speak Chinese. I don't speak Chinese, so it's pretty hard for me to use. And most fulfillment tools don't even integrate with them. So there's this platform right here called Teamdrop. I just started using them. They're pretty brand new. And it's also free. They're not going to charge you any hidden fees or any subscription, anything like that. And it's the first platform that I've seen that actually integrates 1688 and Taobao products just like this, as you can see. So what that means is that you're getting access to those wholesale prices without having to deal with Google Translate and any currency conversion, because the two websites again are in Chinese. So you can see that we have all these products listed right here from 1688 or Taobao. So the margins are going to be way better from day one. And for the shipping, for example, if we go into any one of these products that I might want to sell, let's just say I want to sell this product, there are multiple shipping lines to choose from. So you can see all the different shipping lines, the prices, and the delivery times. So if I want to go with a faster line, for example, Unixpress, I can get my product shipped and packaged to my customer within 5 to 8 days for only $6.55. So pretty insane that we're at the point where we can reduce our shipping times from what the standard used to be 3+ weeks, now down to about a week. And look, again, $5 if I pick this unit right here. So I pick black, I choose the UniFast. Total price comes to $9.84 to get my product packaged and shipped to the customer in less than 10 days. Now here's the other thing. They give you a dedicated agent that you can contact through WhatsApp just right here. So if you click this right here, you're gonna get access to your own dedicated agent that is assigned to you on WhatsApp, where you can just have easy communication with over WhatsApp. So if something goes wrong, say for example, a lost package, quality issue, whatever it may be, you've got an actual person managing your orders who can fix problems in real time, so that you're not stuck trying to figure it out yourself or dealing with some random customer service rep that doesn't really care. And for those of you guys that don't know, you'd usually have to go find your own agent or your sourcing agent yourself, build that relationship, and then hope that they're good. But with this fulfillment platform, you already have that built in. So it just makes the whole process way easier, way less friction, and that's exactly what you need when you're just starting out. But I'll make sure to leave a link for you guys to easily sign up for Teamdrop for free below. If you guys want to connect your store, it's super easy as well. You just go down to store management, authorize store, add store, authorize, go back to Shopify, install the app right here. All right, cool. Now that the app has been installed onto my Shopify store, if I wanted to sell any of these products, all I'd have to do is go to any of these product pages. From here, list onto my store. All I'd have to do is select the images, the description, what I want to import. Mind you can always change this later. List now. So we'll see now that we imported that product, it is now listed on our store products. We could also go to our products right here and see that that product has been imported. We can make any adjustments that we'd like just right here. So the main thing is that anytime that we get an order, it's going to then populate on to our orders dashboard on Teamdrop, and we can simply fulfill it through any shipping line that we decide. So that handles your fulfillment from day one. Way better pricing than AliExpress, faster shipping, and you've got a dedicated agent handling issues. Now keep in mind, as you scale and you start doing real volume, you can eventually go direct to the manufacturers for even better pricing, custom products, all that jazz. But the main thing is that these supplier relationships take time to build, whether it's through a fulfillment platform like this, or you're going direct. You're proving that you can move volume, you are building trust, you're becoming a priority customer. And your competitors, they can't just copy that overnight. They have to start from scratch and build those same relationships that take months or even years. So while everyone else is stuck on AliExpress with terrible margins and 3-week shipping, you're starting with way better economics from day one, and it just gets stronger over time. Now look, I just walked you through finding your product, setting up your store, getting your fulfillment locked down with better economics. That is the foundation. But here's the thing, going from setup to actually making sales, that is where experience matters. Like, I can look at an ad and know in 30 seconds what is wrong. You don't have that pattern recognition just yet. I remember testing my first few products and just bleeding money because I didn't know what signals to look for. Like, I'd see clicks but no sales and have no idea if I should keep pushing or kill it. And honestly, that is why I have even built my one-on-one mentorship program. It's literally what I wish I had when I was starting. So if you want to skip that entire learning curve, me, Justin, and Steven are basically your eyes on this. You show us your product, we'll tell you if it's worth testing. You show us your ad, we'll tell you what to fix before you spend money on it. You're running your campaigns, we are in there with you making the calls. Pretty much you can think of it as we run it like it's our own store, because we only make money if you make money. So we're incentivized to actually get you results. Now we've got a few spots open. If you're actually serious about making this work and you want in, the link is below. So now you've got everything in place. You found your community, stores up, fulfillment sorted. Now comes the part everyone struggles with, actually getting people to buy. And here's where I see most people completely mess this up. They go straight to running ads without understanding what their community actually cares about. So before you spend $1 on ads, you need to become a student of your community. And here's how to do it. So let's just say that you're selling to new parents. I want you to go find where they're already hanging out, where they're living. So whether that's Reddit communities, Facebook groups, TikTok comment sections under parenting content, even Amazon reviews under common baby products that they may be buying. And you're not selling anything yet. You're just reading. What are they complaining about? What keeps coming up over and over? And here's what you're looking for: the actual language that they use, not marketing language, their actual words. So instead of ergonomic baby carrier, they're saying my back is killing me, or I can't get anything done with the baby. That's your angle. That's the language that you're going to use. Now, before you create anything, you need to understand what actually works. So you're heading back to the ad library, but different use case this time. This time you're looking for brands in your niche, similar products, or even the same one that you're selling. Look for ads that have been running for weeks or even months. Those are your control videos, aka videos that you want to copy or recreate. That means that they are profitable. Study how they structure the hook, what problem that they lead with, how they present the product. And here's the thing: your goal is not to create the perfect ad. It's to create something that works well enough, prove people actually want this. Now, for actually creating your content, you've got two options. Option one, and this is just for the initial testing to prove concept. You can use existing content that is already out there. So product videos, supplier footage, other creators' content, you cut it up and recreate your own version following that control video structure. Now, I do want to note that this is a disclaimer. This is to test if people actually want your product. So once you're making consistent sales, you need to switch to your own original content to avoid any legal issues. So I'm not saying to do this. I'm saying it's an option. I just don't recommend it. But for that first round of testing, it gets you live pretty fast. Option two, which I recommend more than anything, you work with real UGC creators from the jump. Now, this is going to require more upfront capital, probably a few $100 per creator. But if you've got the budget, this is your cleanest route. Go to X, type in your niche plus UGC creator. So for example, parent UGC creator or pet UGC creator, reach out to them directly, check their portfolios on Instagram, TikTok, and sometimes they'll just link it into their bio as well. But the main thing that you're vetting for, do they already make content in your space? Because if they're already posting about baby products, they know how to talk to other parents, right? They don't need you to explain the audience to them. Now, another thing, when you find someone solid, do not micromanage them. Show them those control videos. You can literally just say, this structure is working, just take it and run it. Let them adapt to their own style. The reason this works is simple. When someone sounds like themselves, people trust it. When they sound like they're being told what to say, generally it doesn't do that great. So whichever route you take, existing content or real creators, you're testing a few variations, different angles, different hooks, see what is actually getting people to buy. You run the ads, check what's working, what's getting clicks, what's actually converting to sales. And honestly, you are probably going to spend a few $100, maybe $1,000 before you find what works. That is just the cost of learning what resonates. So once you find an angle that's converting, you can't just run it forever. Creatives tend to burn out pretty quickly. So you need fresh iterations constantly. So new hooks with the same message, different visuals, same problem presented in different ways. But here's the key. You're not guessing anymore. You know what core message works. You are just, in essence, remixing it, right? And that is when you actually start scaling more budget into what's proven. So fresh creatives around the same angle, all of it built on real data instead of you just guessing around. All right, so most people watching this are going to do nothing with it, but some of you are actually going to do this. You're going to pick a community, set up a store, start testing, and that first month, it's likely going to suck. You're going to spend money and not see results immediately. But here's the thing. Every dollar that you spend is teaching you something about your audience, about what works, about what makes people buy. And that knowledge stacks, it compounds, it gets easier over time. So the question isn't whether this works, it does. The question is whether you're willing to stick with it long enough to figure out your market. Because once you do, that is when things get interesting. Now, obviously, there's way more to actually executing this. I've got videos walking through the full process on my channel. So if you're interested, make sure to check those out. I'm also going to be working on a ton more. Other than that, as always, I appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next one. Peace.